Hello and welcome to Getting It Done, a podcast about music, education, and life lessons. I'm your host, Tim Rausenberger, and today is a beautiful Thursday, June 13th, 2019. This is episode 287, time management techniques and improving your overall time management. And welcome to a late episode 287 on time management. How incredibly ironic. I'm your host, Tim Rausenberger. So glad to see all of you here tonight. Appreciate you joining us for this very exciting episode. As we will discuss on tonight's episode, if things can go wrong, they will go wrong when it comes to managing your time. So I'd like to give a quick shout out to the Getting It Doneers who are over here in the chat. We have some new people here tonight, and I appreciate you joining us. We have, as always, Esther, who is here, along with Sean, Itzalia, Itzi, I think is how she goes, what she goes by, I should say, and it's great to see you here tonight. I had two of them were winners last week of the $15 Amazon gift card. Yeah, we do that every episode. If you have not tuned in before, we do a $15 free Amazon gift card every single week on our live podcast. So definitely want to make sure to tune in every single Thursday night at 7 p.m. Hello to Watermelon Duck, Michelle. Great to see you. Miguel is here. We have some new names, some new people here that I've not seen before. I see Valeria. That's terrific. Great to see Val here tonight. And let's see, I think I saw someone a little earlier, Natalia, I saw as well. So welcome. I encourage you to have your friends tune in tonight, because there's going to be a lot of important information that's going to be related in tonight's episode relating to our big contest, first ever contest for Getting It Done. I'm going to be giving you the details later on tonight when I'm not telling you. You know why? Because I'm the host and I can just do that type of thing. But I can tell you that it is absolutely in your best interest right now to definitely bang that like button. You got to hit that like button. And right now in this episode, make a comment, and I will give you a little inside tip as far as the comment is concerned. When you're doing your comment, make sure that the comment is at least a sentence or maybe like a phrase or so. We're going to get into that a little bit later on. The thumbs up or the, how's it going there, dude? Will only do, well, it'll only do so much. So at any rate, welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us. If you have never been part of one of these podcasts before, it's great to see you. And we are going to learn a ton tonight about time management and the things that you have to do to improve in that area that we all have to do, and myself included. And I say it kiddingly, but if you do think for a second that I am okay with any of our podcasts ever starting late, believe me, you are sadly mistaken. One day when I have a production team of 15 to 20 people working behind the scenes for me, and I have a gazillion dollars, I think it'll be a little bit easier to avoid some of the pitfalls that we encounter at times on a weekly basis. But unfortunately, we only have so much control over things, whether it has to do with the internet, whether it has to do with the weather, the traffic, the fact that in addition to me presenting this free content to you each week, I do have a full-time job, which, let's be really honest about it, it pays the bills. And that's going to be something that we're going to address tonight in terms of time management, what's important in life, what isn't important in life. And believe me, there's not a day that goes by where this podcast is not important to me. And some of you may say, oh, you know what, I'm turning this off already. This guy was started off late. But you know what? I like to look at it this way, as we're human. We make mistakes. We learn from them. If you saw me just minutes before and I was communicating with Alice, she knows that I was upset, I think would be a good way of putting it. And the nice, happy, wonderful, beaming face of joy with the new hairstyle and the tie. Yes, we're rocking Mickey Mouse tonight. With all that stuff going on, the reality of the situation is that things can be very, very stressful. So at any rate, let's get right into time management. Let's talk a little bit about it. Okay. The first thing that we have to address, and this is really cool because I went all out. I mean, let me tell you something. When you are going to get it done, you get it done. And we went all out. That's right. Last night I did a little bit of shopping here. So I'm going to show you what I got. And we're going to have to cover up this violin. Sorry, violin. We're not covering up the French horn. We can never, ever cover up the French horn. Never. It's a godlike instrument. Okay. The violin. Sorry, violin. All right. So let's get this going on here. Nice little prop. Okay. And I would like you to say hello to the Getting It Done whiteboard. So, hello, whiteboard. Hello. All right. So, the whiteboard has joined us here for the episode. And what I'm going to be doing is, as we're going along here, I'm going to be writing some things down that you will find to be helpful along the way. Just some different types of specifically numbers. I'm going to be writing a lot of numbers down tonight, but these numbers are very important. And rather than just spouting them in the chat, I felt that I wanted to at least give you some type of visual. I do apologize for that most irritating light. Unfortunately, with the way that my lighting is in the room, if I don't have that light there, then you can't see me. So unfortunately, we do have to kind of deal with the light at the moment. And I appreciate your understanding with that. Okay, so let's put up a very, very important number right off the bat that we need to address. And that number is 168. Never, ever forget the number 168 for the rest of your life. 168 has to do with the number of hours in a week. Okay, you have a total of 168 hours in a week. All right, so you're dealing with 24 times 7. Okay, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 168 hours. I will tell you a comment I cannot stand that I hear from people almost daily. And the comment is this: I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. I ran out of time. I didn't have enough time. Let's get this straight here. You deserve more time. Why? Explain that, please. Why are you entitled to more time than everyone else? Hold on, though. You don't get less time than anyone else. We all get the same amount of time every week, every single week. 168 hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It hasn't changed. And even back in the day, centuries upon centuries ago, before the calendars were what they are today, the concept of time didn't change then either. Yes, you can come up with the argument, well, certain parts of the world, it's darker for longer, it's lighter for longer. You know what? Get over it. Get over it and stop complaining. There are too many people in this world who complain about the amount of time that they have. I don't have enough time for this. I don't have enough time for that. No, here's the cold, hard reality. And this is one of these episodes where I like to say to my listeners, and I have said to my students, this is where the tough love comes in. Too many of you are not spending your time efficiently. Period. End of story. That's what the problem is here, folks. That's it. It's nothing else. There's no magic wands. There are people who have written books on this. You know, ways to properly manage your time. Give me a break. You don't need to be sitting, you know what you're doing? You're wasting your time reading those time management books. The stuff I'm going to give you tonight, just listen to these things and you're already going to be on your way. I don't have all the answers, but I got quite a few of them because I've done a lot of research into this. And I've realized that you can't get time back. We all have the same amount of time. You made a very smart choice tonight. You know what was the wise decision you made? You tuned in. You said to yourself, I want to improve. I want to be a better me. I want to be a better person. I am having a difficult time managing my time. I need to tune in. I need to listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. And you know what? Even if he doesn't necessarily know what he's talking about, you know what I'm going to make you do? I'm going to make you think. And that is my foremost thing as an educator. I want you to think. I want to make you leave my world, my classroom, my podcast, and say to yourself, yeah. And that's what I'm all about. And sometimes it's done with a nice happy face. Ha. And sometimes it's with music making. And if you looked at episode 285 earlier today, I talked about different types of techniques and tips for maintaining brass instruments. But when it comes to this, though, we don't get time back. Your problem right now is you have not figured out what to do with the hours in your day. And if you're constantly running out of time, if you're constantly running late for things, if you're constantly stressed, if you're constantly multitasking, if you're constantly not meeting deadlines, if you're constantly upsetting other people, if you're constantly behind on your bills, you're behind on all of these different things. A lot of it has to do with your planning. A lot of it has to do with the fact that you have not come to grips yet that life is never going to be easy. Because if life were easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do everything easy. Life was never meant to be easy. Life is always going to be hard. And if you want things in life, and if you want things to be better, then you have to change. And I've said this so many times throughout the episodes. You have to change. So I went to a website and I saw these different words, and I'm going to put some of them up on the board right now. Okay. Let's talk about some of these words. Okay. One of the words that they talked about was stress. Look at the board over here a little bit. There we go. Okay. If we can get a little more of the board in the picture here. So we can move some things. There we go. That should help out a little bit. Okay. So does anybody here have stress? If you have stress, raise your hand. Raise your hand in the air like you just don't care. Okay. Anybody here stressed? Anybody ever stressed? Or is your life perfect? No stress ever. Everything is wonderful. No problems at all. Everything's just fantastic. Incredible. No stress at all. You have no stress. Okay. So I have, let's see, Esther. Yes, with a special little acronym after that. Okay. Italia, lots of stress. Michelle, lots of stress. Alice, all the time. Sean, Stella, talking about chills, realizing a lot of stress. Now, you will always have stress. One of the things I saw on this list is ridiculous. It says avoid stress. You can't. Do you know what I call that on the list? Stupid. There's no other word for it. I look at some of these lists, these things that people write. I don't get it. You can't avoid stress. You're always going to be stressed. Now, you can limit it. You can get some type of control over it. There's always going to be stress about something in life. Anything that's worth doing in life, you have to work hard, and there's probably going to be some element of stress associated with it. End of story. You can't avoid it. So this is ridiculous. So silly. Now, the next one I see here. I like this. This is great. Breaks. Talks about the fact that we should have breaks. There's nothing wrong with a break. The problem is that too many people in the world, they take breaks that go on forever. You have to limit your breaks. And it says take regular breaks. Well, the problem is, and I just got done talking to a student about this, but if your break is for an entire day and you have tons of things to do and you decide you're going to spend the entire day on YouTube, the entire day texting someone, the entire day doing something that, for lack of a better word, is just completely and totally mindless. Hey, listen, every once in a while, that's not the worst thing in the world. But you have to understand, and this is what people don't get. They say all the time, oh, I need a break. Oh, I need a break. Oh, I need a... Well, you know what? That's okay. You got to understand, though, that with those breaks, you've just lost time. So if you lose time, that means that somewhere later on, the next day or the day after that or the week later, you need to make sure that you're planning everything accordingly. If you've decided you're going to go to the beach for the entire day and you're just going to lay out and that's all that you are going to do, you're going to take the ultimate break. Let's go one step further. You're going to go down the Jersey Shore, for instance. Hey, going down to Wildwood. You're going to make a day of it, maybe 2 days. We'll just say 1 day for right now. Okay, so you got to drive down. You got to sit in the traffic. 2 hours. What are you doing during those 2 hours? Think about it. I can tell you what I do during that 2 hour ride or more. I plan accordingly. I'll tell you that. I plan a lot of things. Just sitting there, just, oh, no, I don't. And I'm not multitasking to the point that I'm making myself a 7-course meal as I'm driving. But I am doing some other things. Most importantly, I educate myself. I am often listening to other podcasts. I am listening to motivational speakers. I'm listening to music. I'm doing anything I can to get my brain going. And I'm not taking a break when I'm in the car. Whenever I commute, I don't take breaks when I commute. You want to know a great way to handle phone calls? The best time to make phone calls? Do it in the car. The only time I do not recommend making a phone call in the car. The only time I do not recommend it is if the phone call is going to become emotional. If you know there's a chance the person you're going to be speaking to on the phone is going to upset you to the point that it's going to affect your judgment on the road, I don't want you on the road. I don't want you driving anywhere near me. And there's some people who can't handle that. They cannot separate their emotions from the task at hand, whatever the task is. And there's some people, they're just simply incapable. But I can tell you right now, one of the biggest problems with, and I have to just call it out, with Americans are these breaks. This need to take these prolonged breaks. I've got to take a break from this. I'm stressed out. I got to take a break. Got to take a break. I'm stressed out. Folks, you're always going to have stress, and there's nothing wrong with taking breaks. They can't be for too long. And I'm going to talk about my schedule and how I do take my breaks. I'm going to get to that. And I want to tackle some of these things on this list, which, like I said, are ridiculous. So the breaks, let's just cross that off, because you can take breaks, but they just can't be long breaks. All right, so that's gone. Okay. The next thing that's here has to do with multitasking. And yes, I do have the worst handwriting. I don't really care. It's just the way that it is. Because to me, I would rather give my time to you than spend time on my handwriting. And yes, I've actually thought about that. To me, I'd rather spend my time in the classroom educating my kids than spending time working on my handwriting. Are people going to judge me on my handwriting? Of course they are. You're always going to be judged. We've already talked about that on so many occasions. So do I worry about what people say about my handwriting? No, I don't care. You don't like my handwriting? Okay. But there it is. Thank you, Esther. I appreciate that you love my handwriting. It is a mess. At any rate, okay, so multitasking. Now, from this list, they said avoid multitasking. First of all, there are studies that are out there that say that multitasking doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as multitasking. And I can tend to agree. The brain can only do so much. But I will tell you that one thing, in terms of multitasking, one place that you can absolutely get things done is absolutely in the car. And I am not advocating, again, that people are chowing down on massive meals or texting or doing or horrible things that are going to distract you from the road to the point that you can't pay attention. But when you become a proficient driver, when you just get it, you can just do it as a second nature type of thing, which means that if you're 17 or 18 years old, you should not be doing any of this. To me, anyway, for the first minimum year, at least 2 years you're on the road, you shouldn't even be talking on the phone. That's my own personal opinion, because I don't think that new drivers have the judgment. I don't think they get it at all. I think they need to have their eyes strictly on the road because they don't understand the elements of driving, which is why a lot of them do get into accidents, even when they're not talking on the phone and doing all the things they shouldn't be doing. But I digress. So, but multitasking, though, I am always preparing for things that I'm going to be doing. I prepared for tonight's podcast on the way to work, on the way home from work, throughout the course of the week, listening to other people, just in the car, talking to people in the car, getting some ideas for the episode. Again, all being done in the car. So in terms of multitasking, I think just that alone, any time that you are traveling, and especially if you're a passenger. If you're a passenger, I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, you can admire the outdoors. That's fine, but the mindless things that people will do, and they're wasting time. You are a spectator at whatever it is. You have to go to some type of event, some type of whatever it might be. You have to attend a dance recital. You have to go to a sporting event. You need to go grocery shopping. And you're not the active participant. And you're maybe just for lack of a better word, you're just a spectator. And you're going to have those moments where you know already that you're going to have the downtime, where you're going to be able to sit down, or you're not going to have to give your full attention to any of that. You should be bringing something else to do. I've been doing that my entire life, to the point that I irritate people to no end, because and this was one of the biggest reasons that I was very, very late for a lot of things for a long time, is I wanted to make sure that whatever situation I was in, whenever I had downtime, I wasn't just sitting there. I am not that guy that just sits on a porch and just stares out and looks at the traffic. I've never been that way. I've lived for 13 years in my house. I've got a very, very nice porch. Do you know how many days I have sat on my porch and just stared out? 0. Now, have I sat out in my yard? Yes. Have I watered the grass and admired it? Yes. And just relaxed and maybe put the shades on and just kind of kick back? Sure. Sit on the porch and just mindlessly watch people as they go by. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And again, if that's your idea of de-stressing and taking a break, that's fine. But you have no right to be getting angry at other people if that's how you chose your time. If you know, and I hate to bring this up, but there are some people who might have situations that they have to take breaks for whatever they may be. But one of those things might be smoking. And this might be a good way and a wake-up call to say, I need to stop smoking. Because now what you have to do, now you have to go outside because the fact that you are addicted to nicotine. So you may have to relocate or you may have to go somewhere else. Think about the amount of time you lose a day having to smoke a cigarette. Think about that for a moment. There's so much time that's lost. And think about oftentimes, a lot of times when I see people smoking, they're not doing other things. The thing I have in my mind is that image of in the Superman movies where some of the reporters that are working with Clark Kent and Lois Lane, they're sitting there and they're smoking cigarettes, but they're also working at the same time. They're working furiously, and then they take a quick drag, and then they go. That's not what's happening with a lot of people, at least from what I've observed. A lot of times they're just sitting on a corner and they're just smoking, and that's it. And they're not doing anything. And again, not the end of the world, but you need to understand that somewhere, some way, you need to make up for that time. And that is no one else's fault but your own. Yeah, I'm being brutally honest with you. What am I going to do? I'm going to lie to you, and I'm going to say it's okay. It's not okay. It's not. See, here's the thing. It's not okay when you're starting to take it out on other people. That's not fair. That's not fair. You made that conscious decision. You did what you felt that you needed to do, but you can't blame other people. I've never, ever, not once have I blamed other people for any of my procrastination. Never. I don't blame other people. Now, I have had, excuse me, misdirected anger where I will get upset because the traffic was too slow, or I get a moving violation, a speeding ticket, because I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing on the road. And I'm happy to say it's been a long time since I've gotten one of those, because after a while, you're kind of sick and tired of having to fork over hundreds of dollars for absolutely no reason. It's pretty idiotic. But at any rate, this multitasking is really, really important. But it says to avoid multitasking. I think multitasking is good, but there's only so much you're able to do. The brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So I do agree with that to an extent. All right, I'm going to kind of erase this here because we're going to be getting back to the numbers in just a second. So let's make that go away. Okay. Now we have something here that is... There are some things that are really, really important that are on this particular list. And I'm going to give you the one that you need to learn, and you need to learn it now, not later, not I'm going to feel bad about doing this. No, you need to do it now, right now. Say no. This is not say no to drugs. This is not say no to alcohol or any of those other types of campaigns. No, say no. People ask you to do something, don't do it. Now, you might not be in a position where you can't say no. An example, when I was younger, okay, we're going out to whatever. We're going out clothes shopping. Like I really wanted to hear that when I was a teenage boy. Like we really enjoyed going clothes shopping. Okay, we're going out clothes shopping, get in the car. No. Okay, that didn't work out very well for me. I'm going to tell you right now. It didn't work out very well for me. I didn't have a choice. I had to go. I'd say that's when I was a teenager. Well, actually, no, even sometimes when I was a teenager. They would just say, you're getting in the car, we're going, and you need to be there to try on the clothes. Saying no is not an option. So there are certain things. If you're in a type of household where you part of your responsibilities are doing chores, making dinner, doing laundry, saying no may not be an option. And let's not forget for a second, and I have to just throw this out to any of the parents that are in here who are going to appreciate me saying this. Kids, last time I checked, you don't pay the rent. You don't pay the bills. Okay, so just kind of remember that. Last time I checked, you're probably not paying for your food. So you need to kind of keep that in mind. But I'm talking about saying no to things you simply don't need to do. Let me give you something really silly. Really, really silly that I am sure everyone in this chat has been guilty of. Everyone has been guilty of. Has anyone ever come up to you and they've asked you to do something for them? More specifically, have they ever asked you to talk to someone else for them? Let's think about that for a minute. Let's get even sillier for a moment. The person has come up to you and they want you to go up to someone else because that person likes that person but is too afraid to go up. So now they want you to suddenly be their spokesperson. Answer: no. I'm sorry if you didn't seem to grasp it. No. No. Why? Why should you be doing that? That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's not your responsibility. It's not your place. And if anything, it's probably only going to get you stuck in the middle. Don't do it. Don't get in the middle. Don't do someone else's bidding. You're not their servant. And there's a difference. See, if you're a kid and someone in your household asks you to do something, this is not where the say no goes into effect. Now, there may be a point where, quite honestly, it's getting to be abusive and you have to stand up for yourself when you're whatever age and you are contributing and you're doing everything. And after a while, you just get sick and tired and you say no. Now, it may result in a big showdown, a big blowout, whatever. And you may have to you have to stand your ground. But when it comes to other people, when it comes to friends, no way. And I can tell you, this is the thing I've struggled with more than anything in the world. The number of people who reach out to me now, more than ever, asking me for help, asking me for advice. Tim, what should I do here? Mr. R, what should I do here? What should I do? What should I do? I am now to the point where I actually go up to those people and I am very direct. I'm really direct with them now. I just spoke with a student today. And one of the things I said to the student, I said, you know what? I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of you for how hard you've worked. And for that reason alone, how hard you have worked this year and busted your tail and done every single thing that all the teachers have been asking you to do all year, being one of my top music students, being someone who's so reliable, so respectful, so kind, always there, doing what they're supposed to be doing, speaking up when they need to speak up, being quiet when they need to be quiet, doing all of those different things. And I said to them, you have full access to me whenever you need anything that you need, because the school year is ending. And there are certain students that I understand over the course of a year, when you bond with a teacher and you realize that the teacher has so much to offer to you, it's upsetting when the school year ends, especially if you're not going to be seeing that teacher the following year. Well, seeing that teacher on an everyday basis. But I have gone out of my way to say to specific students, this was one student, but then other students, and I will flat out say to them, I will give you my time. I will do this for you. But now what I'm starting to realize is I'm looking at the number of hours in my week and I'm saying to myself, I can't keep on giving up my free time. I can't do it. And I'm giving less of my time to people who flat out don't deserve it. And I know that may sound harsh, but you ever done that before? You've given up your time to someone else. Here's what you just did. Let's take a look at the board now because you couldn't say no. And I'm going to even go one step further because I don't want to forget to say this. Not only did you say you didn't say no, you wound up getting more stressed. You got aggravated. You probably complained to your friends, wasted time complaining to your friends. You complained to your family members. You felt sorry for yourself. You felt bad. You shouldn't have done it. Now you're wasting more time just thinking about that because now you're getting down about it. But here's what you really did. And this is a real crime. And I want you to really think about this. Again, how many hours do we start with in the week? Type it in there. Type it in. I want to see that you've been paying attention to this episode. How many hours do you get in a week? What's the magic number? Write it in the chat. I want everybody to write it in, not just one person. Okay? Because that's being reactive. Don't be reactive. Don't be that person. You need to be proactive in life. You need to be proactive. You need to be the first person. Somebody asks you a question, you should have your hand raised right away. You don't wait around. Oh, wait for somebody else. What is that? Don't be that person. Be the first person. Raise your hand. Don't be afraid. Again, people are always judging you. Don't forget that. All right, 168 hours a week. 168. Watch this. Basic math. It's like the new math, but it's different. Rausenberger style. My new math. 168 hours in a week. Let's say you have that friend. And I'm sorry if I'm going to sound mean in this way, but I'm just going to call it for what it is. The friend calls you up and they're bawling their eyes out and they need you right now. Now you're busy. You got stuff going on. And they ask you to stop everything you're doing. And what they're about to do is to complain about something that you have talked about with them over and over and over and over and over. And that person is being selfish again. And they're demanding your attention. And if you don't give them their attention, they're going to threaten to not be your friend. Ever been there before? Ever been there before? All right, so now you know what you just did? You gave up 3 hours of your night talking to the person. Even worse, and this is why I can't stand texting. I hate this. I hate texting. You know why I hate texting and messaging? It takes so much time and there's no vocal inflection involved. You waste so much. It's not, I don't care how fast you think you can text. If you're having this type of conversation, the amount of time that I'm spending in this podcast episode, the hour to hour and a half I spend in this episode speaking to you, if I were to type everything out, it would take me 8 to 9 hours. Take me forever. All right, now you've given up 3 hours of your night texting or whatever nonsense you've done, and you just abandoned everything else you had to do. You may have had responsibilities. You've irritated family members because you didn't get things done you were supposed to get done. All right, so you know what you've now done? You just lost 3 hours. All right, now that's bad enough. Now you're down to 165. Here's the thing that you're not realizing, and I want you to be aware of this, and I want you to start thinking about this now, right now. This is why you say no. This is the reason you say no. Watch this. You just gave up your 3 hours. Do you know what you essentially just did for the other person? This is crazy. Now, in many ways, well, not in many ways, in any way, that's not possible. Nobody can have 171 hours in the week. Do you understand what I'm saying here, though? You just took 3 hours of your time for things that you need to get done, and you just gave them away. Why would you do that? Why would you hand 3 hours of your valuable time where you have things you've got to get done because you want to do something with your life, because you want to accomplish something in the world, because you're trying to fix something about yourself or for other people that you really care about a lot, for this selfish, arrogant individual who now has decided that they must have your attention and they're going to threaten to not talk to you and they're going to be mad at you. Too bad. Too bad. You just handed them your time. Not worth it. Now, this is where the fine line comes in, because I know there are some people in this chat. There are people in this chat at the beginning of the school year, or the people I've known for years in here, who have said to me that they're antisocial. You know what? There's there can be good reason for that. When you look at this board right here, that can be a reason for being antisocial. So you have to, and here's the thing, you can't be antisocial, because if you're antisocial, the problem with being antisocial then is then you're not going to be able to balance the types of things that you want to do, because we're going to get to some other things on this list where you actually are going to need people, but they're not going to be the types of things where you're being selfish and you're being nasty or anything like that. So you have to learn to say no. You've got to pick your spots. You've got to stop wasting your time on things that don't matter, on people who don't matter. Need to start thinking about it now, right now. All right. Now, I'm going to get some of these figures off the board here. I'm going to put another thing on here, because now this is going to actually go the other direction in terms of people who you are speaking to, whether they're friends, family, just people who are acquaintances. Big word coming up here. Very big word. And I'm not being sarcastic when I say this. This is a very, very important word. Delegate. All right. Delegate basically means reassign, or to, I don't want to sound mean, but it means to tell someone else what to do or to give them instructions. Now, I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but it basically means that there's a task that needs to be done, and you are going to delegate. You're going to pass that information to others to ask them to help you to accomplish that particular task. A perfect example of delegating would involve voting. Okay, when you're voting for a candidate, the candidate, whoever the person is, whether the person's running for president, they're running for governor, running for mayor, running for senator, whatever the position is, they need to delegate responsibilities. They have all different types of things in the campaign. The person can't do it alone. They just can't, because you know what happens when you have to do everything alone in one of those campaigns? You know what winds up happening? You lose. That's what winds up happening. You need the support of others. You need people to help you out. So with something like a campaign where there's going to be some type of voting involved, you need to get people to support you, to be there on your behalf. Now, when it comes to something like voting, that may have to do with going up to other people and saying, listen, this is the best candidate. Here's the reason why. It might mean that the people that you've delegated those responsibilities to, they're going door to door. They're going on the streets. They're going to town hall meetings, going to all different types of avenues, any different types of venues they can that are most cost effective. So you're not having to spend any more money than necessary. It's obviously best if you're able to delegate responsibilities. You don't have to pay the people. Now, of course, if you have a business or you have some type of business arrangement, the delegation could involve payment of services. Now, in terms of my students, I'm very, very fair with this type of thing. It's really like a trade type of thing. It's that I ask the students, when I do ask students to do different types of things for me. They're setting things up in my room. They're writing something for me very, very, very quickly. Maybe writing instructions on the board because I'm trying to get something set up on my computer. Whatever needs to be done. I need papers to be passed out. I don't forget those things. I don't ever forget. I can think back 15 years to every single person who's ever helped me in that regard. I have never forgotten. It just goes right there. When you delegate, here's what actually happens more often than not. And I know this to be the case with students. I certainly know this is the case to be with younger children, but even older kids. People like to help others that they respect. So if you are a good person and you ask someone for help and they recognize that you're a good person, they're going to help you. And I know some of you are going to say you're taking advantage of the person. You're really not. And the reason why you're not is because if the person knows you well enough and knows that you're asking them for help, so then when they ask you for help, you're going to be there. It's a back and forth type of thing. I think about my family, some family that live in other states, and two of my family members who live in another state. They have this type of system where they are very, very good at, I don't want to say exactly what it is, I don't want to say who the family members are, but they're very good, for instance, I'll just say at moving things. And what I mean by moving things is maybe moving a pile of dirt or moving a vehicle, moving a tractor or something. And they have the equipment to do that and someone else doesn't. So you do that for them as a favor. And then when the time comes, there's something that they maybe have and they kind of do it back for you. So you're not necessarily paying each other. And it's one of those things where the person's there for you, but you are delegating. And sometimes you may need more people. Well, when it comes to time, you need to delegate tasks. I'm not going to lie. Before the podcast started tonight, I gave Alice very strict instructions. She understands. She gets it. She's all in. She's on the getting it done team. She understands that just prior to a podcast episode, and she knew this when she signed up to be a moderator, which she's not paid for. I'm not paid for what I'm doing. She's not paid for what she's doing. She's doing because she loves to do it. And there are many things that I've been able to do to help her in her life. And she looks at it as a perfect trade-off where she's able to help me. But she knows that when something's going wrong, I'm not the most pleasant person to necessarily deal with when something is not going right. And I can get very, very upset. But she understands that when the time comes and I get in front of this camera, I put everything aside and that's it. And we just go ahead and do the episode and we do the absolute best that we can to the best of our abilities. And that's that. But I delegate tasks when I'm on the road and I've got a crew in the car with me. The crew that's in the car, I give them tasks to do. They understand that they are there for that reason to produce the episode. That's their purpose at that particular time. That's it. It's not doing other things. It's not taking care of other things that have to do with their jobs. No, I've given them specific responsibilities. So in terms of your life, you can make things easier and you're not increasing your hours. You're making better use of your hours by delegating responsibilities, asking others to do things for you, dividing up the responsibilities, not doing everything yourself. So there's a part I see Alice said, put yourself first. There is some credence to that. There's some truth to putting yourself first. But again, it's the balance. You can't be antisocial. You got to be antisocial. You got to deal with the issue with that. If you're always selfish, if you always put yourself first before other people, they're going to see that. They're going to figure it out. And they may not like that. You may lose them as a friend. So again, there's that balance. Because the reality of the situation is no one knows everything about you and no one can control your brain. Your thoughts are your own. That's something nobody can take that away from you. Your thoughts are your own. And no matter what situation you have, no one can ever take that away from you. Just always remember that. Now, there are other things that were in part of this list. It had to do with tasks, has to do with deadlines, and prioritizing work. These are all very, very important skills. And I agree with all of those. I think that it is important to prioritize things and to schedule things. I think keeping a schedule, I think that's worth writing down. I think I'm going to put that down, and I have to change the colors. So we're going to go to red. Is that dark enough? Can't read red. I had a feeling that was going to happen. All right. We are going to erase that. I can't see it. Thank you for helping me. You guys are the best. We're going to get rid of that red. Try a little bit of purple instead. Hopefully the purple. Better? I hope that works. Okay. So, barely can see the purple? No, don't say that. Don't say that. Can we see the purple? Everybody see the purple okay? Manageable. Okay, thank you. As long as it's manageable, that's good. I'll stick to the black marker after that. Okay, so you need to have a schedule. That has to happen. And I was guilty of that forever. I tried to do everything in my brain. You can't do that. You can't do it. And I'm going to tell you why you also want to keep a schedule, because what's going to happen is when you actually have a schedule, you have everything in front of you. You can see all of the hours of the day. Okay, what is the easiest way to keep a schedule? It's very, very simple, and it's not hard. And if you're not using it, you need to start doing it now, because if you have a Google account, you already have it. You need to get a Google Calendar. You need to get your Google Calendar going. Everybody has one on their phone. Everybody has the capability of having a calendar, and you write all of your tasks in there. The way that I do it, what I prefer, yes, thank you, Adelaja, you're absolutely right, and I apologize for this annoying light. Yes, there it is. Hand puppets. Bark. Wait, I gotta get off screen.
Hello. Hello. How are you today? Say no.
All right, that'll be enough. Sorry. I just couldn't resist. So my hand go up there. Okay. All right. So at any rate, okay. So getting back, I had my childish moment. So at any rate, creating a schedule is really important. Now, what I do with my Google Calendar, what I like to do is I put everything that needs to be done for the day. If I don't have the exact schedule, what I do with my Google Calendar is I'll put a list of things from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. And the reason I do this, I'm just going to write that down here just as a suggestion. Let's just go with 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm going to assume those are hours that you're not up. Hopefully not. Okay, hopefully you can see that just fine. So from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., this is not when you're going to be doing your stuff. What you're going to be doing is on your calendar, Google Calendar, you can type in all the different things that you need to get done on that particular day. As an example, for instance, if I have a student that I need to schedule for a tutoring session, the person's requested a Wednesday, 2 weeks from now, but we don't have an exact time. What I do is I go to my 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. slot. I write in the person's name. I write in any information about their requesting this potential time, and I have to get back to them, and I'll put different types of reminders and all those different types of things that you can do, the magic of the Google Calendar. But that's a great place to be able to prioritize all the different tasks that you need to get done. Just Google Calendar alone can be invaluable in that way. Some of you prefer to write little sticky notes. That's fine. You can keep a journal. You can keep a log. All of those things are fantastic. Okay. Now, there's going to be one more thing that I do want to address tonight before I go through my own schedule. I'm going to talk about my own schedule, and then after that, we'll get into everything relating to the contest. Sound like a deal? Cool. Oh, by the way, did you already like the episode? Oh, by the way, make sure when the episode's all done, make sure to do your comments. Okay. And I am not sleeping between 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Thank you very much, because my new life, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning as often as possible, except this past weekend when I was sick as a dog. But otherwise, I'm up every single day at 5 o'clock in the morning, no matter what. And that's just part of the new lifestyle. At any rate, okay, so 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., we're writing down all of those different things. We're doing that on the Google Calendar, and that's really key. Now, if we think about all of the things associated with scheduling our time and the management of your time, because so many people struggle in this area, and I totally get it. I know, again, that life is and the tough love part is extremely important, but I have to tell you that one of my new things now is for any people that I mentor and people I've spoken to recently about this. These are things I require now for people that I mentor. People who I mentor are now required to keep track of their time. I force them to keep track of their time. And the reason for that is because I want them to start to develop an awareness now. So you don't have to go through 46 years like I did to try to figure this out. So you can learn at whatever age you are. Maybe you're the same age as me, a few years younger. Maybe you're only in your teens, whatever the case may be. There is no time that's too young as far as I'm concerned. I think anybody at any age can learn this. I think that people just don't learn it, which is silly. So with people that I mentor, I think it is so critical that parents, that people that you're friends with, if you care about someone, make sure that they're recording every single moment of what they're doing with their day and when they're doing it. That needs to be done. And like I said, I'm going to go through everything that I do, but you've got to do it. Now, how specific do you need to get? Well, you can get to the point where you're going to the hour, to the minute, but you really need to just do it very, very simple. Morning, afternoon, and night. Okay, it's really that simple. And there it is. Okay. So morning, afternoon, and night. That's what you basically have to do. If you can at least do it over those 3 time chunks of the day, it's going to give you a much better understanding of where your time is being spent and what it is that you're doing. So make sure start doing this right away. Start doing this tonight. And what I would do, I'm right now, there are people that it depends on the situation. I have people out there who I mentor, and they're all different types of arrangements. If you have an interest in me mentoring you in anything, whether it has to do with music, whether it has to do with just general education, it has to do with things relating to your work, it has to do with just life. I think just life coaching in general, feel free to contact me. By the way, of course, as I mentioned before, our new email, and I'm really asking for people to contact me there as opposed to all the other places. You can always contact me through Facebook Messenger. That's a great place. That's an open forum. Facebook Messenger is open at all times. Anytime if you want to send me a message, and I usually respond pretty quickly. So GID Getting It Done podcast at gmail.com. You can drop me a line at any time, and I would certainly be willing to entertain whatever your situation is, and then see if this would be the appropriate fit. Do need to understand now, with my schedule getting busier, the number of times that I'm spending in terms of mentoring people is starting to dwindle, starting to diminish. So if you have such an interest, please do reach out to me, and because my slots are filling up, and they're filling up very, very quickly. Okay, good. So now let's take a look at my schedule. What is my schedule like? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down my schedule for you in 3 different ways. The first way was when I was a teenager. The second way was when I was in college. And the third way is going to be me as a music teacher, as a hopefully, I'd like to think, a productive citizen in society, but really as a music teacher in the current situation that I'm in. So I'm going to talk about things from when I was a teenager, talk about it when I was in college, and talk about it as where I am presently as music teacher. And as much as I would love to give you 2 hours of time tonight, we are already at the 1 hour mark, but I certainly want to touch upon this so you can understand how I get it done. And this is how I've been doing this. I've been doing this since I started working, and I had a true concept of what it was like, where I needed to be at a specific place at a specific time because I was being paid, and I had that type of responsibility. So here we go. Let's get right to it. So let's erase the magic board. I think, do you want me to go back to green? Is green good? Come on, Michelle. We're not even close to being finished here. Oh, my goodness, Michelle. I'm going to blow your mind with what I have to say next. You're going nowhere. All right, green. All right, green is happy anyway. By the way, green is a happy color. Red is kind of like the stop sign. Green is a go for it color. All right, let's get the green going. By the way, if you didn't notice, I do go all out with things. This is a good luck finding one of these, by the way. This is an eraser. It's actually a whiteboard eraser. I don't know. I don't know if these are available online. I think I had it upside down. They're really bothering me. That treble cup being upside down was really bothering me. I don't know all the places they have them. I do know one place. I'm going to give a quick cheap plug because sadly and unfortunately they're going out of business, and they're a fantastic, wonderful place. I don't remember exactly their location, but I'm going to type them in to the chat here. The name of the company is Bosland's, BOSLAND '. They're going out of business, unfortunately. It's a family-owned business. They have been selling supplies to teachers. So if you think about walking into any classroom in America, any classroom, Bosland's sells those supplies. So that the sign that says "You're awesome," or "You can do it," or the motivational things that are around the room, the little stars, buying little stickers that you can put into things. Bosland sells it all, and unfortunately, they're going out of business. I believe they're in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. I'm almost positive they're in that. It's a big industrial park area, but they're going out of business, I believe, at the end of the summer. So that was, right, Michelle. You wondered, because it's funny, if you go on to places like Amazon, it's really hard to find these supplies. I don't think I was able to find this anywhere, but Bosland's had it, and it was one of those types of things like, the cost didn't matter. It was so cool. And I'm one of those types of guys that I saw 2 of them and I'm like, I'm buying them both because with my luck, I'll lose one of them. So I have both of these at school, and I was able to bring it home. And why was I able to bring it home? Because from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on my Google Calendar today, I had music eraser. It said it right there. As soon as I woke up this morning, boom, right in your face. I knew that I had to take care of that. As soon as I got to school, I had a little note in my bag reminding me to grab that eraser. Okay, let's go through my schedule and what things were like when I was, oh, but a young chap growing up. So let's talk about me as a teenager. Okay, so as a teenager, let's go through the different things that I had to realize and understand about my hours. So we're going to subtract the hours that I have no control over whatsoever and the hours I was left with in the week. And then you're going to understand how I'm balancing my time. Are you able to see this? My goodness. I'm having all different types of issues with this board. Is everybody able to see that? So it's bothering me actually too now. I'm going to try something with my light for here for a second. Hang on one second. Did that improve anything? No. That should have improved things a little bit. Is that a little bit better now? A little bit better? I hope so. I'm doing my best here. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit if I can. It's a little hard with the microphone. Life can be tough. Okay, so as a teenager, I, of course, like everybody else, had 168 hours in a week. I averaged when I was a teenager about 7 hours of sleep a night. So if you take 7 times 7, 49 hours a week that I was sleeping. Okay. I'm now down to 119 hours a week that I have left. Okay. So sleep, can't do anything about sleep. Let's just throw in some meals in there. All right. Just for the sake of, I'm going to assume that I wasn't just eating on the go all the time. So I'm going to just take out the meals and the required dinners and lunches where I had to sit down. And these may or may not have been in school, whatever. But I'm just going to throw in terms of eating for the entire week, I'm just going to take out 10 hours. And that's probably not enough, but I'm going to take out 10 hours for the whole week for eating. Okay, so now I'm down to 109 hours from my entire week. Now we need to factor in school. So you're in school from, let's see, I would wake up in the morning, always late. We'll just call it 7 o'clock that I was up in the morning, and school ended, we'll just say about 3 o'clock. So it was 8 hours a day times 5 days a week, 40 hours. Okay, so 40 hours a week for school. Now we're down to 69 hours that I have left in the week to do, honestly, everything. Guys, take a look at this for a second. Wait a minute. Look how many hours I just started with. We're dealing with sleep. We're dealing with food. We're dealing with school, or if you work full time. This is what you have left. 69 hours, 68 hours. That's it. You just lost 100 hours. You can't do anything about those 100 hours. Now, yes, you can sleep less. Of course you can. And I've seen people that, and there are people that advocate for that, and they say, well, you're sleeping too much. Me personally, I think that the body needs to recover. I think for the brain to operate properly, you do need to have enough sleep. Some of you may even be able to see it in my eyes tonight compared to some of the other episodes. I'm tired today. I'm tired today just because this entire week has been a grind. I had a really, really, really vicious virus for a good 4 to 5 days or so. And if you look, I mean, I can even see it when I'm looking in the camera right now. I'm a little bit tired. Hello. I am very, very much alive here in my brain because of the type of food that I had today. And I'm just very energetic, and I love the podcasts and I love to teach, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm tired. But Look at that again. 69 hours. That's all I have left for everything. So what's involved in those 69 hours? You got to get your homework done. You have to do some type of studying, maybe for like tests. You would like to maybe have some downtime or be able to play with friends or games or whatever it might be. And I'm not even including activities, clubs, sports, everything. We don't have, here it comes, ready? Not enough hours in the day. I don't have enough hours in the day. Nobody does. It's how you're spending your time. But I can tell you right now, as a base, you probably have 69 hours. Did you waste half of that watching YouTube this past week? Did you? I have a funny feeling some of you did. Did you waste half of that this week talking to people about things that have nothing to do with anything? And you think back to the conversation, it's like, wow, that was pretty useless. So for me as a teenager, this was before social media, we had video games back then, and I did love playing video games. But I was a teenager and I had a job. I wasn't playing video games. I love video games. I wasn't playing video games. You know what I had to do? I had to work. And I'll get into, in a later episode, I'm going to get into even further why I had to work. I put myself in a really bad situation where I owed somebody a lot of money. And I didn't do anything illegal or anything like that. It was just, I owed somebody a lot of money for something that I did, which I shouldn't have done. And the reality was that I had to pay that person back. And I'll do an episode on that. But video games? No, I don't have time for that. Going out and playing my friends, or taking breaks. There were no breaks. I had to make some coin. I had to make some cash. That had to happen right away. So 69 hours a week. Now, this is going to blow your mind. When I was in high school, do you know how many hours a week I averaged working in a retail store? Think of Home Depot. I want you to think of Home Depot for a minute. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it, but think about Home Depot and think about some of the employees that you'll see in Home Depot. And I'm just going to say it for what it is. A lot of them are super, super lazy, really lazy. And they just take their time. That was not me. When I worked in that type of hardware store, I was the guy. I was the one that everyone went to because they knew I knew all the answers. I was so passionate. I cared so much. I was that person. You want to go to the beach? No problem. I'll take your hours. You want to take that time off? No problem. I'll take your hours. I had times I was working 40 hours a week while I was going to school. But in an average week, I worked 30 hours a week part-time, 30. And a lot of times it was more. So I'm going to deduct 30 hours right there. $39 hours that I have left. Sorry if you can't see the board. There it is now. So 39 hours. Now what? I have homework. I wanted to become a professional musician, music teacher. I had to practice my trumpet. Let me tell you something. You learn to prioritize things pretty darn quick when you only have 39 hours in a week. And let me tell you something. The 30 hours, I wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. I think working is fantastic. One of the greatest things about working is it forces you to spend your time more effectively. The people who have the biggest problems are the ones that have all the free time on their hands. The free time. We have nothing to do. I'm bored. I have nothing to do. I haven't been bored. I haven't been truly bored since I was 14 years old. That's a fact. I don't ever wake up bored. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I never understand people who say, I'm bored. You're bored. I have so many things to do. I have so many things I want to accomplish with my life. My house, there are parts of my house that are an absolute mess. There are parts of my house I haven't even touched in years, and it bothers me. But I have other things I have to do, like producing this episode tonight. Or I could have cleaned one little area of my house. Or I could have taught you and could have spent time with you tonight. Now, I consider this to be a little more important than that little area of my house that I'm going to hopefully get to at some point. So 39 hours. That's it. And what are you doing with that time? When you have that little an amount of time, when you have lost 75% of your time that you started with from the beginning of the week, you're going to start to figure out how to organize things very, very quickly. And a lot of you need to do that. And you need to start cutting things out of your life. You need to start saying no, like we talked about before. You got to say no to more people. You've got to delegate more things. You've got to plan things more effectively. So, how much does this differ in relation to college? Well, college is completely different. I still don't even know how I did college. In terms of work, it really doesn't change much. Actually, in terms of work, it's even worse because here's what my life is. And I'm not looking for any sympathy, but you're going to notice there's not a lot that changes and the time just vanishes. If I look at work, my work schedule, and there's a reason why I'm actually going to do work now and college last. Because I figured out in college that if I could get through college, if I could do what I did in college, I'll be able to accomplish anything in life. I'm going to show you in a second why. Let's take a look at the work schedule. I'm going to try to do this quick. Again, it's a long episode. And again, I love spending the time with you guys. But at the same time, you have to understand that I do also value my time. And I kind of make it a rule that I don't like to go over an hour too much. And I, as a rule, try not to go over an hour and a half. And I ask you to respect my time in that regard. So here we go. We'll just say as a teacher, professional. Okay, so 168 hours started with the week. I am still sleeping about 7 hours a night, so that's really not changed. So 119 hours that I'm left with after sleep. For this one, I'm not even going to put my meals in because, and I'm not proud of this at all, but I spend very, very little time eating and just sitting there and eating. And something I'm going to try to get better at this summer because I know I'm going to be able to digest better. But I also know, I hate to say it to all those nutritionists out there, I did lose 100 pounds. And I think almost every single meal that I was consuming, I was doing something else while I was eating. It's just a fact. I'm just not that type of person who likes to, when I'm eating, just sit there and just stare at the food. I don't know. It's just not really too much my thing. But for those of you out there that are going to attack me for it, hey, I can take it. Again, I lost 100 pounds and I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that. And I was able to multitask while I did it. At any rate, 119 hours that I'm left with. Now, let's start to factor in, the brutal thing. Time that I have to travel on the road every single day. Bare minimum that I am commuting on the road back and forth to work and my tutoring and any other types of responsibilities, the absolute bare minimum per week. It's 20 hours. And I know that's bothering you right now because I just did 119 minus 20. I'm going to do 119 minus 19. Okay. So now I have 100 hours left in the week. So that's just sleeping and just having to drive my car. Now you can understand why when I'm driving, I do other things. Again, texting is not one of them. Sending emails is not one of them. Going on the internet is not one of them. What I do is I plan all of that before my car physically leaves my driveway. I do all of that in advance. I get everything ready to go. So I'm not doing that on the road. Anything I have to do on the road, I'm doing hands-free, doing Google instructions. We're at that point now. You can give the instructions to Google. Not hard. Whatever command you decide to say into your phone. Okay, great. So we have 100 hours left in my work week. Now, the number of hours that I work per day, I'm still going to actually go with 40. Okay, sometimes, actually, most times it's a lot more than that, but I'm just going to go with 40. Now, this is where things are sad. Really sad. And it bothers me, but it is what it is. And people can make their own choices. Unfortunately, there's so many people in this world. This is their life. Don't be that person. Because that is not me. Because that's the 60 hours that's there right now. That's not me. This is what a lot of people do with their lives. They start off with 168 hours in a week. They sleep 49 hours throughout the course of the entire week, 7 hours a week. 7 hours a week. Listen to me. 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some more because they're taking naps or sleeping longer, whatever the case, messing up their entire sleep cycle. All right. Then they also may have some type of commute. In a lot of cases, their commute is not nearly as bad as mine. My commute is brutal every single day. It is what it is. I don't whine. I'm grateful. I love what I have. I'm not giving up my house, and I love my job. There, it is what it is. So now I'm down to 100 hours, and then I work my 40 hours for the week. 60 hours left. Do you know what a lot of people do in this country with that 60 hours? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They go home. They just stare at the TV. They watch YouTube videos. They do things that are completely senseless, useless, and unproductive. And what's really ironic about some of those people is that they're not even putting the time back into their job, and they're certainly not doing anything to make society a better place, which is sad. And it's really, really unfortunate. So unfortunately, again, there are a lot of people in this country, they hit their 60 hours, and now you know what it's become? Party time. You know why? Because I worked my 40 hours, and now I got 60 hours free, and I can do whatever the heck I want. Well, good for you. Here's the thing. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. Don't sit here and tell me and all of my getting it doneers that you don't have enough time and you wish you had someone else's time and he always has time. No, that's on you. That's your fault. You caused that. That's all on you. You know why? Because you wanted all your breaks, because you wanted to take your time off. Well, you get what you reap what you sow is what they say, and you get what you deserve. All right, I get 60 hours left. You know what I do with my 60 hours now? Here's what I do. Graduate school. And I'm going to keep on, when I finish my graduate school classes, I'm going to keep on learning. I've learned so much from graduate school that's just become a thing for me. I study now, bare minimum study 2 hours a day. Forget about graduate school, not even including graduate school. But I'm going to include that study with my graduate school right now. If I talk about the amount of time that I spend on my 2 courses that I have remaining for my master's degree, thank you very much. I'll have that master's degree at the end of July 2019 from Adams State University. Thank you very much. 60 hours a week. Deduct the, I would say, total amount of time I spent on graduate school and studying and bettering myself. I'd say about 20 hours. Now I'm down to 40. What have I not included in the 40? I tutor. And I mentor people. Let's take the 40. On a good week, I have 15 hours left. And in some cases, things need to be altered here. Sometimes I don't have enough time to study and learn on my own. Sometimes I don't have enough time to be able to practice my instrument or practice my singing. Sometimes I don't have enough time where I can't even mentor and tutor all of my students. Why? Because I'm also part of a cover band. I need to plan my week accordingly this week because my cover band 10 till 2. Thank you very much. And I'll just give the cheap plug in here because I'm allowed to, because I can, because this is my podcast. 10 till 2. Where are we going to be performing? This Saturday. From 10 p.m. until 1:30 a.m. at the Emerson Hotel. It is free of charge, and the food is outstanding. It's the Emerson Hotel in Emerson, New Jersey. Saturday, June 15th, 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. It's going to be a great show. And guess what? The following Monday, we have a private party we need to play at. That means I'm going to be starting my day at 5 o'clock in the morning. My day is going to end at 11 o'clock at night. And that's not including the time I have to drive home. It is what it is, guys. Now I have to move my time. I have to move things around. Where am I going to get my time from? I need to go into this week and restructure things. This is the essence of life. This is how you have to do it. This is how you get it done. Stop complaining. Stop blaming everyone else. Say no. Say no to people who are taking up time in your life. They don't need you. They will be fine without you. They'll find someone else. And in some case, and I hate to say it, but in some cases, they're leeching off you. Let them leech off of someone else who has that free time. Remember that 60 hours I was talking about? That 60 hours, the partay time? Good for them. Not you. You got other things that you need to get accomplished in your life. I'm in graduate school. You know why I'm in graduate school? I want to get smarter. You know why I want to get smarter? Because I want to become better. You know why I want to become better? Because I want to become more qualified for other types of positions in addition to the type of teaching position I have right now. And ultimately, so I can educate more people, inspire more people, and you know what? The bottom line in the end, make some money in the end. And you've got to be able to do all of those things. Sacrifices have to be made. This is where I've gotten where I've gotten to. See that 168? I don't even need to do the chart for college, but I'll do it for you anyway, because this is real quick. You want to see my college? I'll show you my college. This is going to be some incredible math for you. And then right after this, I'm going to give you all the information about those tickets and about the contest. All right, here we go. College. This is going to be quick. I was in college from 1991 to 1995. 4 years I was in college. Full-time student, Wilkes University, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Amazing experience. Wouldn't change it for anything in the world. The education I received from there was absolutely stellar. And I'm sad to say there's no music department there anymore. At least one that where you could major. But at that particular time, we had as great a music program as any college music program in the United States. It was incredible. Check out these numbers. 168 hours in a week for college. This one, I'll also go with, I'm going to do 7 hours again. It's about 7 hours sleep I was getting a night. $119. Do you want to know how much free time I had in college? Ready for it? I kept my job at home. So on Friday nights, I drove home 2.5 hours in the car. And what was I doing in the car? I was listening to music. I was studying. Constantly. Always had all my tunes ready to go. Yeah, back in the days of CDs, cassette tapes, I was studying in the car. I was listening to music. No phones back then. No cell phones in the car. Listening to music. 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. That's 5 hours every single weekend. Why did I keep my job? Because it was more lucrative. I made more money keeping my job at home and not losing my status at that particular hardware store where I worked than to try to get a job at my school at Wilkes that paid less than half what I would have gotten. Flat out made more money. Did I enjoy the drives home? Heck no. I didn't want to drive for 5 hours back and forth. It's a pain in the neck. Had to do it. Had to be done. Don't regret it. Worked at that store for 11 years. Gave my blood, sweat, and tears. And no, Alexa, please do not say poor Mr. R. No way. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, because what I gained in learning in working at that store was my skills in customer service and being able to relate to people. And I'd never give that up. What I learned from age 15 to 26, even when I got my job, my dream jobs as a music teacher, I still worked in that hardware store right up until their closing. But I'm not even going to include that in here, because here's where it all goes, my friends. I worked tirelessly. I can't tell you how many hours I put in, because when I was home in the summer, I worked the entire summer. I worked 2 full-time jobs in the summer. And I also took college courses when I was over the summer as well. 0 downtime, no free time at all. 119 hours. Subtract the work, subtract the meals, subtract, there isn't anything else to subtract. How about studying? You know how many free hours I had for 4 years in college? You know how many free hours I had? Take a wild guess. Go ahead and tell me. Tell me in the chat. How many free hours do you think I had in 4 years that I was in college? 4 years I was in college. You write in the chat right now. You tell me how many free hours I had. 4 years combined. Tell me right now. How many free hours did I have? You got it, Esther. Zero. No free time. You know why? Because I knew for the rest of my life I would be able to have some free time. Because you know what? When I finish this podcast, I'm just going to sit back and relax. I'll have the free time later. Not when I was in college. No way. No way. Because I knew that if I failed a class, I'd be disappointing my parents, who were helping me out by paying some of my expenses for college. I didn't want to let them down. No way. I was such an awful high school student. I didn't get good grades, and I had to make good on that. My parents didn't give me a second chance in college. It didn't work like that. And when I graduated college, I had good $30,000. $30,000 that I had in loans. You know how long it took me to pay off those loans, that $30,000? Less than 2 years. You know why? Government's not taking my money. They're not getting my interest. No, thank you. As a matter of fact, I was so irritated about the fact that I had those $30,000 in loans, because I thought it was so shameful that I had to pay that much money in loans and I had to pay back and I had all this interest. I actually sent a note to the loan company with the final check that I wrote. The last amount that I owed was like $165. I think I sent in a check for $2,000. Well, no, it was $165 payments, but I owed $2,000. I sent it. I got so sick and tired of paying for it. I just sent them $2,000 in the check, and I put a note in there, and I said, "This is the final payment. Don't ever contact me again. I never want to hear from you. I don't even want a receipt." And they actually honored my request. I think by law, I think they're supposed to send me something. They never sent me anything. I never wanted to hear from them again. I didn't want to, and I've never had debt since. And I'm very, very proud of that. Worked very, very hard to where I've gotten to this point in my life, and my work isn't done. I have so much more that I need to get done. That's why I'm at where I'm at in my career right now. This is the work. This is what happens when you're in college. If you're doing college right, this is what happens. You are working obnoxious amounts of time because you care about something, because you're passionate about something, because you don't want the other person to get that job over you. That's your job. And I'm going to put another number up here, because this is something I'm also going to do a podcast episode about. I got so many topics for you guys in store. How about this number? Good luck topping this. I challenge anyone on earth to rival one of the things that I did in the over the course of 4 years. 188 and a half. Nope, that's not hours. You know what that is? Credits. Do you know how many credits the average full-time college student takes? The total number of credits the average full-time college student takes over the course of 4 years to complete their degree is 128 credits in 4 years. And 128 credits is a good number. It's a good number of credits. I took 188. You know why? Because I wanted to get a double degree. I wanted to be certified in voice and trumpet. I wanted to be certified in music education and music performance. I wanted both. And any college you go to in America, any college, you can't do the program. They won't allow you to do the program in less than 5 years. They will not allow you. Do you know why? Because to them, it's almost like suicide. It's almost just impossible to try to get that done in 4 years. I had to figure out at the middle of my freshman year, I said to them, everything had to be perfect. I couldn't fail. If I failed one class, wouldn't happen. If I had one misstep along the way, wouldn't happen. Did I have to pull some all-nighters on some papers and on some tests? Absolutely. To pass those classes, do anything and everything possible to make sure that happened. The question that I ask you, do you do the same thing with your life, with your time management? I've never had enough time with anything I've tried to do. Never. I always run out of time. But I do everything I can with the time that I have to manage it accordingly. And if you can do that, you are going to be successful. It's going to happen for you. And it may not seem that way right now. And there may be some things that are bleak. And those of you in here that are working full time, you might be in jobs that you don't enjoy too much, or you might be in circumstances that you don't love. But I'm telling you right now, if you start to make those changes, things are going to get better. But you need to do it now. And what did I say before? And I'll keep on saying it. Say no. And don't feel guilty and don't look back. Say no. You start doing that, you're going to feel so much better. And you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to take control of your life. So something, as you can see, I'm very, very passionate about. And like I said, I just wish I knew this stuff when I was younger. I only started to understand all this, everyone, this year. Just this year. 46 years old. It's just too long. I shouldn't have had to wait this long. You don't have to wish you could be like me. You can be yourself, Sean. You can be yourself. You don't have to wish for anything like that. If you just do these things that I'm telling you to do, you'll be successful. And if you need my mindset, then reach out to me. And the thing I say to my students, I take them to task all the time, is that they get into a rut and they get upset and then they don't say anything. Contact me, ask me. I'll give you my time. As long as I know that you're working on yourself to make yourself better, I'll give you my time. That's how I am. It's how I operate. I'm always here for my students of all ages at any time. Please, I implore that you reach out to me. I have a gift card. $15 gift card. It's going to someone tonight. I'm not sure who it is. We need to go over here to the magic phone from my good friend, Alice, who's reminding me about the gift card. Don't forget to do the gift card. I haven't. Still don't have a name, though. Oh, I do have a name. Yes, I do. I'm so sorry. Okay, we have a $15 gift card. It is going to be given away, and then I'm going to talk about the drawing for next week and the contest. So here we go. $15 Amazon gift card is going to, drum roll, please. Hillary Zamudio. I hope I'm saying that name correct, and I apologize if I completely butchered the name. Hillary, congratulations on the $15 Amazon gift card. I am so appreciative, so happy you were able to join us tonight. Someone I've not seen here before, and I always like being able to give those away to brand new listeners. So Hillary, if you can hit me up, make sure to send an email to Getting It Done, GID podcast at gmail.com. And Alice, if you can help me out and put that in the chat again, I would appreciate it. Okay, again, we have a very long episode tonight. It is what it is. And you know what? That's totally and absolutely fine. But now, how are you going to win this contest? If this is the moment of truth, this is what you have been waiting for. This is the time where those friends of yours that were not tuning in and, oh my God, the podcast is so long tonight, then tell them to tune in right now because they need the details. They need to know what's going on. So we should start seeing those people. Tell them to hop on here right now. Tell them to get on this episode. Share this episode with them right now because every single detail, everything that you're going to need to know for this contest is going to be explained right now. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Get everyone you can, everyone you know, get them into this chat right now so they can hear all the details. They know what's involved in the contest. We are talking about 3 prizes here, guys. 3 prizes. We're talking about third prize is going to be, this is the third place prize, is going to be a $25 Amazon gift card. That's third place. $25 Amazon gift card. Straight out of my pocket. Second prize, just for simply being a part of the contest, is going to be a $50 Amazon gift card. Like, it's really happening. And I can't even show you what one of them looked like because one of them just literally came in the mail. There it is, with a bow on top. Orange. How cool is that? Like, you get that with the bow. One of them just came in the mail. Just got it. It's the $25 one right there. Okay? $50 Amazon gift card as well. Okay. So we have a $25 Amazon gift card. We have a $50 Amazon gift card. And again, if you haven't a past winner, I know a few people had said to me they hadn't gotten their gift cards. Again, make sure to drop that email to that specific email, gidpodcast@gmail.com, and I can absolutely email you your gift card. If you would prefer for that to be mailed to you or handed to you, I can absolutely take care of you. But the grand prize, the granddaddy of them all, you get a $25 Amazon gift card. You know why? Because I just felt like throwing it in. $25 Amazon gift card and 2 free all-day passes to any Six Flags park in the United States. Any Six Flags. You can redeem these anywhere. Do you have any idea how much a pass costs, an all-day pass, to be able to go on all those rides? A pass is over $87 for one pass. $87. That's what the general admission cost is. I'm giving away 2. $175 value for those 2 tickets, along with the $25 Amazon gift card. This is a $200 grand prize. $200. Hello? Are you interested in that? Do you have an interest in a $200 prize? Which has to do with the Amazon gift card plus the 2 Six Flags tickets. Now, I have to just put this little plug in here. This is important. The Six Flags tickets were not from my pocket. They actually were from an angel, and he does not want to be named. This is someone who loves this podcast. This is someone who has been involved in this podcast. This is someone who gives me suggestions for the podcast all the time. And this person decided they were going to donate their money and get these 2 Six Flags because you know what? They said people that are in this podcast would absolutely love this. But here's the thing. You have to earn it. And how are you going to earn this? Because you know what? It's not fair. If you're in here every single night, you know what? If you're here every single night and you are part of this and you care enough and you're going to put that type of time in, you deserve to be rewarded, or at the very least in those top contenders for one of the top 3 prizes. Not someone, and this is the worst, when that random person shows up, we don't even know who they are. And I don't mind that. I love random people that show up, but the person who's the drive-by. And what that means is they just show up only for one night and they grab the grand prize and we never see them again. Yuck. Can't stand when that happens. Unfortunately, it happens in life from time to time. All right. So you want to know what you have to do. You want to know what you have to do? Who wants to know? Who wants to know? Who wants the details for what you're going to need to do in detail? Talk to me. Michelle wants to know. Anybody else interested? Who else is interested? Who else wants to know? Well, if you want to know, then you can click on that. Because that would just happen to be episode 286. And in episode 286, every single detail you need to know about the contest is included right there. Everything. Everything involving all the different angles you can take, because this is going to be done on a point system. So, Melanie with many, many N's. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 N's. Hello, Melanie. All right. So the bottom line is that if you go to that link, you'll be able to see me in my nice pearly whites, where I'm going to explain everything in detail to you, but I'm also going to give you an entire description. Everything is in episode 286. And when was that released? That's right. It was released 30 seconds ago. It just came out. And the only way that you are going to know what you have to do, all the rules are right there. It's up to you. Do you want to share the information or don't you? That's completely your call. Do you want to have an edge over other people? I'm going to tell you right now, though, because you tuned in tonight, I'm going to tell you some of the things you need to start doing. You need to do them immediately. Number 1, you need to get subscribers. You need to get subscribers, and you have to claim the subscribers. How do you do that? You send me an email, and this is the only way that I'm going to accept it, guys. You can't tell me in person. You can't give me a message. You can't say, yo, Mr. R. No, that's not going to work. You need to go to this email. Boom, right there, that email, and you send me an email when you get somebody that just subscribed. You have to claim that subscriber. Don't you let someone else take the subscriber from you, and you make sure to tell them too, because if I start to notice that the subscriber is between 2 or 3 different people, I'm going to eliminate them as someone that you can claim. You are going to gain, for just getting a subscriber, you're going to get 2 points. The next thing you want to do it tonight. Don't forget. Do it tonight. Say no to the other things, budget your time, and go on to all of my videos tonight. Every single video. Do the thumbs up on the video and write at least a sentence or a phrase. You can't just give me a thumbs up. You can't go, yo, what's up, dude? That's not going to work. You have to put something in there. Don't just put in, I mean, it's nice to say Mr. R is the most amazing person ever. That's nice. That's wonderful. That's great. What's going to help me, and the type of comments I'm looking for, is something that's going to relate to the video. You don't have to watch the video for long. You can maybe watch it for 30 seconds, for even a minute. But just see if you can grab something from that video that you're going to get out of it, and then comment below. Because those are the types of comments that people read, and then they're going to see those types of comments, and that's what's going to bring more people into the channel. Come on. Do you want a podcast where there's only 9 or 10 people, or do you want a podcast where we have 900 people? And you know what the answer is. 9,000 people. Because you know what's going to happen? If this contest is done correctly, we're going to bust at 1,000 subscribers. It's going to happen. I did the math already. Ways that you can get new subscribers. How many Google accounts do you have? Do you have 1? Is it against the rules to have more than one Google account? Last time I checked, the answer is no. So can you get additional Google accounts? Absolutely. You're not violating any types of rules by doing that. So you can get your additional accounts. You let me know that who the new subscriber is. You don't even need to say that it's you. That's completely, totally up to you. Just let me know who the subscriber is. But here's what's really cool. This is what's really cool, and this is how you're going to get a lot of points. This is how you're going to rack up those points. You get a point for just simply being a subscriber. And I thank you for that. You get 2 points for making comments. Each comment that you do. So I have 40 videos. You do the comments and the likes on all 40 videos. You just racked up 80 points like that. You know who's somebody who's already racked up all those points? Alexa Estevez. I'm going to just say it right there. She didn't have to do it. She did it. She went all out and she said, you know what? I'm going to start doing these comments. She's already ahead of you guys because she was really paying attention. Some of you knew the information, but you didn't do it though. And it's great to see a tinting. What's happening right now? You're going to have to go back and check. All right, you're going to have to go back and check. But I will say that I'll be nice enough to drop you that YouTube link again. You want to drop that YouTube link to others. You want to start getting people to subscribe. That's the key, because if you think about it, let's do some math. I'm going to do some basic math. I'm going to be so nice to you. I don't even have to do this tonight. Check this out. If you, let's say you get 30 subscribers. You claim them as your own. You get 2 points for each one. That means you're going to get a total of 60 points for those 30 subscribers. If those 30 subscribers all comment on my videos, are you ready for this? It's going to blow your mind. How many videos do I have, guys? 30 subscribers. I have 40 videos. You're going to have 1,200 points for yourself for bringing subscribers in. You just netted 1,200 points for doing, ready for it? Nothing. All you did was just get people in. And you told them to do comments. And why do they have to do comments? Because they want to win too. So in order for them to win, they have to make comments. But the greatest thing of all, it's kind of like the best way to kind of explain it. It's kind of like someone getting paid for something, but you're getting paid too. You understand? You're not getting as much as they're getting, but you're getting something though. And that's great. And the bottom line is that if you constantly stay ahead of the other people, you're always going to be ahead. You simply being here tonight in this chat and being here, you're already ahead of everyone else. You're already ahead of everyone else. The people that were not paying attention. And the people that are going to forget to do this. And if they wait until the last minute, you can't possibly do that. You can't do it quick enough. You just can't. Alice and I are going to be looking at everything. When does the contest expire? And I'm going to make sure that that's in there, because that was the only thing I didn't say, when it actually expires. The expiration date of the contest, the last comments that will be accepted, or the subscribers that will be accepted for the contest, will be Wednesday, June 19th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. After that time, we are not going to be accepting any more. So what do you need to do? And you need to do tonight, and you need to do now, and you need to do with every single free moment that you have with your time. Get subscribers. Get on to the comments, hit those like buttons. You should have liked this episode already. The second that this episode closes down, throw the comments on there. Talk about it. And here's the thing too. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna get emotional with you for a second. Guys, I bust my rear end. I work really hard for you guys. I give you a lot of free content. I'm asking you so nicely. Do it for me, please. Please put those nice comments in there, because when you put those comments in there that are thoughtful and people read them, they're going to say, wow, this person really enjoyed this video. Maybe I should check out the other video, or I should check out the other video. You understand? You do good things for people that do good things for you. It's a trade-off. And again, I will always remember all of you. When this thing takes off and we become the number one, we will become the number one live podcast in the world. It's going to happen. It's going to take time, but it's going to happen. And no, I'm not going to forget any of you. I'm not going to forget all of you who are here. I'm not going to forget Melanie. I'm not going to forget Tinting who won the Amazon card. I'm never going to forget Michelle, who lives and dies with these episodes. I'm not going to forget Esther, who never forgets an episode. I'm not going to forget Alice, who moderates. I'm not going to forget Stella and all the other amazing people who have been a part of this. I'm never going to forget you. You guys are amazing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is where I need your help. So do the right thing. Get on this now, right now. And remember the most important thing. What do you need to say to those people who keep on asking for you for your time? What do you need to say to those people that keep on asking you for your time and you don't have time for their nonsense? What do you need to say to those people? No. Stop giving up your time for people that don't need it. You don't need to be nasty about it, or you just simply don't need to do it. There are people who contact me. They ask me to do something for them. I asked them to do 15 things for me, and they didn't do one of them. Now they're coming to me for something? Give me a break. Get away. Get away. I asked you to do 15 things for me. I asked you to like an episode or send a comment, and you couldn't do that. I asked you to subscribe to the podcast, and you couldn't do that. And now you're asking me for advice? Get away. Not happening. Not doing it. Think about that. You guys are all amazing. I love you all. You are absolutely the best, and I appreciate you. And I promised myself, I said, there's no way we're going to go past 2 hours tonight, and we're not going to. We're at 1 minute, 56 seconds. I am going to give you this YouTube link again. This is episode 286. It gives you all the details for the contest right there. I hope you enjoyed the episode tonight. Please, as always, like the episode. Keep on giving me lots of suggestions. Put suggestions in the comments. You should do an episode on this. That's the type of stuff. No, you guys are the best. And thank you. Peace.